Hi everyone, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and what I want to do today is do like an updated version of how to use the text and fonts in Canvas, because my video is quite old now and there's been updates and things like that. So I thought I'd do it again and more in depth as well. So we're going to first of all look at welding and layering and matting for your text. I'll go through the curving text as well, and drawing, and then some issues that you might have when you're trying to weld or whatever the text. So let's start off by doing just Merry Christmas. So what I should explain first is that this is a desktop version of Canvas Workspace, and it means that you can use all the fonts that are on your computer. If you're on the online version still, there's only a few fonts that you can use. They only, I don't know exactly how many, I think it's about 8 or 10. So I love my fonts. I think what font you use is a big deal when you're doing text. So I much prefer to use this one, because obviously you get such a wide range of text that you can use. Let's just go in closely. So when you use text, a lot of the curling text, you don't realise. I'm going to go in a bit closer here. Can you see it is not actually joined? They go over one another. So they actually need welding. Once you weld, it is not text anymore. Once you do anything to the font, then it becomes just a shape inside Canvas and not text. So I'm going to go back out. That's display, zoom to matte size, just so that you can see it. Actually, I'll go in a little bit. Apologies. So you can see it a bit clearer. And I'm going to click on it. And as you can see, at the moment, it's still text. At the moment. But what we're going to do is weld it. And as soon as we weld it, it will weld if you watch. There you go. It's all joined together now. You can't do anything about the font or anything, because now it's just a shape. The other thing about text is you can only go along one line. It doesn't let you enter and carry on writing underneath. That's something I really think they need to sort out. But at the present time, you can't do it. So what we then need to do is divide, which is still in the process overlap. Divide will separate all the letters. Obviously, the ones that are joined together will be one part. And then it's your choice if you want to join the M to the E and the C to the H. I kind of like it separated. So then what I would do is get them together and make them a group. And then get all this together, including the dot of the I, apologies. Yeah, and make that a group. And then you can move one above the other. And then you can decide if you want the merry a lot bigger, with the Christmas a bit smaller, because it's a bigger word. And, you know, you can play around with it there. My mouse is playing up. Keeps double clicking, sorry about that. So there, you can even join them too if you just do that, then the whole lot is joined together. So you can do that if you want to. That's if you're cutting it out more, I've got to be honest, because I want to do it written. So I prefer my fancy fonts to be written. Now the thing about that, if we select it all, first of all, you must change it to draw. You have to do it before it goes over. You cannot change it once you've sent it over to your machine. And the other thing is, if you leave it like this, that's how it will do it, as an outline. If you fill it with colour, like that, then it will colour in when you've sent it over, and it will fill in the colour with the word as well. It takes quite a time on the machine, but it looks crisp afterwards. It looks properly done. I do prefer doing it that way. So if you do want your font coloured in, you need to fill the colour in before you send it over. Okay, then the next thing is we all like to put it on a mat, don't we? So if I just do one at a time, I like a really fine line, but I'm going to do it at 08 because most people prefer that. And we want it outward because we want it on the outside of the line. We need it to go round because there's a lot of curves in the text. Leave as it is, it means the original font you want to be left there. And this is if you want any of the inside done. Let's just... I don't think... The only inside we have is the E, so I'm going to leave that. Click OK. And there we have it. So we will do Christmas now. Same thing. It's all the same, so we don't have to go through it again. Okay, so now let me show you. You can see the dot of the I is not joined together. So I think maybe the C as well. Yep. So what we need to do there is highlight it all and weld. Actually, don't highlight it all because it will include the letters. So you click, hold shift down, click, and click the I and weld, and you'll see it'll all weld together. So that's all one already. So display, zoom to mat size. There's your Christmas, and there's your Merry. I'm going to click both so that they stay in the right place. And then with them, let's group that so we know it stays together. You can just keep going. So let's do another mat. Okay, so this time it has crossed over, so we can weld it. And you'll see there. There we go. So this first base, because we're drawing, it does need to go on with that. If we hold both, and then we're going to align centrally and through the middle. Still centrally the other way. So what will happen is you'll leave it like that, and when we go over to the machine, you'll ask it to draw first and then cut out. And you're not trying to cut out a really fine font then, you are just cutting out the bit around the outside with it already written on. Same as this one. Again. Click all and just make sure it is centered properly. And there you go. So that's going to be written out. And then we've got the Merry. Let's just do Christmas. We'll take that. So that is first layer. So that's the written one, and then you've got one layer. And then it's up to you how many layers you do. You just keep literally offset, keep it the same if you can, I think. Okay. And you can do as many layers as you like. I think that covers matting and layering. So now I am going to delete all that, and I'm going to talk about curving text. So let's keep Christmassy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. When you want to change the fonts, all you're doing is clicking on this bit here. I'll just show you. I should have shown you before, sorry. It can take a while. Mine does, because I have thousands of fonts. Okay, so what it does, first of all, is shows you the ones you've recently used. Then the Canvas Workspace fonts. So these are the ones that are available online. And then all fonts is the ones that are on your computer. So as you can see, judging by this, I have way too many. I can't help it. I just love fonts. Okay, so that's how you would change a font if you wanted to. I'll come up and do that later so I can show you with some of the difficulties what you have to deal with. So let's make this a bit smaller, and what I'm going to do is get a circle. So if you've got the shape, hold shift and click on your text, and then over here it comes up here, fit to path. And it will make the text go round the circle. If we have the Merry Christmas on top, like that, then that's what I was thinking. But there are different things that you can do to change it. So this one is if you want the writing coming from the left, you want it centrally, coming from the right, or distribute evenly. See, if I do that one, it will stretch out so there's no space there. If I was to do left, which is the general one, center, it's not going to change much on a circle, is it? And from the right. But I'm going to choose left, because that's typically how we write, left to right. Okay, so I've got Merry Christmas going along the top. Now this one is whether you want it so the line is on the bottom of the text, in the middle, or at the top. So in the middle, it will go like that. With the line on the top, that means the writing's inside the circle. It goes like that. So I think right now we want it on the outside. And then this is the direction you want the writing to go. Okay, so I think I've covered all of that. If you're happy with how that is, then we come over here. If you're not, you just click on it. So you click on it and then you can make any changes. And I've realised I have done it so that New Year is not in capital letters, which is not great. And then click off and it will go back. So now that I've made that mistake right, so you can do all that kind of thing, then you click Convert to Shapes, and the circle is gone. The font will stay as a circle, and then you put your circle round it to cut it completely, if that's what you want. If you want it to be like a sticker or sentiment circle like that, let's just align them both, and there you go. So that is how you use the curved font, showing you how to do it in a circle. You can also use this, do a shape, and it will go along that line as well. So it's really, you can use anything. You can use any of the shapes. You can use the path tool with a straight line. You can use the freehand tool and do anything you like. And as long as you've got them both clicked, the text and the shape or line, whatever it is, it will fit to path. The one thing you can't do is do anything about the text that will change it into just a shape. If I was to weld it before I sorted all this out, then it could not then be fit to path, because only text can. So if you do anything to it that's going to stop it being text, like welding, you have to wait until you've done the shape first. I hope that makes sense. Let me just try and show you what I mean. Okay, I know, a very simple word. So at the moment, obviously it's text, and if we got a shape, and clicked both, then the fit to path comes up and we can do it. If, however, I think, oh yes, this needs welding because the letters are all separate, and we weld it, and then click both, it won't come up because this is not text anymore, it's a shape. That's what I was trying to say. So I hope that makes sense to you now. Let's get rid of that. I think that is most of the text that I've covered. Just if you have an issue. Now, I know already that this font does not have an issue because it just welded. But sometimes you get a font that doesn't like welding. Okay, typically I can't find a font right now that won't work, but sometimes you get a font, you go to weld it, and it says it can't be done because of overlapping lines or open paths. So the most common reason for that is if you come closely in, you can see the lines are not as straight as they look. So we'll assume that this has said that. And the first thing you need to do, because you need to go on the nodes, and it won't let you go on the nodes while it's a text. But that's usually where the problem lies. So what you have to do first is click Convert to Shape. See, the text has gone now, so you know it's a shape. So if you click again, all the nodes have come up. You want to hide the control points because you're not really that concerned about that. Now, I have done a recent video on nodes, and I went over the text a little bit on that as well. But let's go in a little bit closer here, because I can see there's a bit of difficulty here. So the thing about the nodes, quickly, are that they're the path that the blade has to take, like a dot to dot. So if they're all bunched up, they're going to make the knife jolt backwards and forwards like that. So you really don't want to have too many nodes in one place. So we take that out. And although this worked, a common other problem is that the node from the E is crossing over with the node from the L. And so you have to move one of them. That can also be a common problem. Now look at these. Let's click on one. So that, funny enough, that's happening there, but it seems to feel it's okay. Now let's see what happens if we take that off. It's changed the shape a little bit, but it's still going to weld, so it doesn't really matter. Now this one here, no, so it'd be this one here. What you want to find is one without a line. If there's no line attaching it to the next dot, then it shouldn't be there. So it could be that. And also some authors of fonts leave lines open. And if a line is open, it can't weld. It has to be a closed off shape. So that is also sometimes an issue. You see these, they've got crossovers. It's a pain, but it is usually the issue if you're having an issue with your font not welding. So that's the kind of thing you need to look at. Don't need two dots here, but what you want to do is take the one. Why is that in front? Is that to the other letter? Okay, so they're not together. They're just crossing over. If that one was directly over that, then it wouldn't weld, because two together. That's what it means when it says overlapping. Because obviously two lines have got to overlap for you to weld. But it means that the actual nodes are crossing over. Okay, so I think I've made that clear enough. If anyone has any more questions or doesn't understand what I'm talking about, then please get in touch and I will try and explain it as best I can. I just thought it was better to do an up-to-date one that's including everything in it instead of lots of little ones. So I hope that helped. Like I said, any questions, just get in touch. I'm on Facebook as well. It's all Wheatcraft at Home. And I will speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.